So, we've all kind of had that desire to go to like a flea market or a swap meet or something and find hidden treasure, something somebody doesn't know about. And in the 6th episode of Universal Basic Guys, you've got Thumbhead's. So let me say, Universal Basic Guys is a cartoon series about a group of people who have universal basic income after they lose their job at a hot dog factory. And as they're generally useless, they don't go out there and get new jobs. They go out there and raise hell and get these get-rich-quick schemes and whatever have you. So yeah,
American Dream, am I right?
Yeah. So you have Thumbhead and his brother there to eat at screen time. They go with Thumbhead's wife to an estate sale, and they go out there and they buy a horse. Thumbhead's wife buys a painting,
Go
but
right
they
to
buy
the source and ask the horse.
So most of the episode is about
They'll give you the answer that you
and
endorse.
Thumbhead tries to make money off the horse. Yeah, I mean, the ending was surprising, but it was pretty solid there. And then, the wife story, I think, was probably the best because in the end, it's like Thumbhead kind of makes out okay. The wife, well, she gained something, but not as much as she could have gotten if she had known. So, yeah.
Nimbus.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know, dude. What do you find funny? Is a horse farting funny? Because I used to have a horse, and I miss my horse. Tammy was a good horse. And, I think they introduced a character in this one who's the jockey. And, it's one of those things. It's like, yeah,
El Pistafo! Where have you been?
It's better on a horse, you don't get your mafia boss.
For a moment, I thought that Donald Trump had hired you to clear the illegals out of my city.
There and have the jockey run the dang thing before you decide to bet or not bet on a horse. Okay? One of the things this says is that, Thumbhead.
I had the kitty.
He likes to jump into things Thumbhead first, and it's just, that's the problem. That's Thumbhead.
My kitty is purring.
This was not as aggravating as last season. I didn't find it terribly funny, but I don't laugh at anything. So you'll probably like it more than me. It's one of those things I have.
Crazy day, brother. Work tired, Jim. I know the feeling, bro.
But yeah, I mean, Dirty Eat at Screen Time actually.
Ivigwo. Hi.
Did impact the plot this time, and he's not given as much screen time, so he's far less annoying. Still, he's the mysterious character there. The brother that takes the abuse. I'd really like to know more about him. Anyway, so that's just my opinion of this particular piece. I'm Richard. Ladies and gentlemen, and human type persons, I am Sergeant Duck, and I am tasking you with commenting on this video. You should also like and subscribe if you haven't already. Share this with your friend, and make a better, more disciplined world for you and for me. Dismissed.
Okay. So, El Dam, around here the pussy can get rather aggressive, yes. But, yeah, so guys, for those of you that don't know, that was from Random Street Theater, my other channel. I've had a lot of people say, well, why do you have two channels? It's because I have two different kinds of content, and I don't talk about politics on Random Street Theater. I just review movies. All right? It's one of those things. So there is a certain separation between who I am as a critic and who I am as a person. This channel is me as a person. Ivigwo, I like the cat. Yes. I love kitties. They keep away demons. Yun Gin Yun. Don't say that. Don't say what? Elbizavo, so in Soviet Russia, pussy aggressive you. You know, I hate to break it to you, El. Across the entire world, it screws you. Yeah, I was talking to a bartender the other day, and I said, you ever heard of an Irish flu shot? He goes, yeah, it's like, whiskey and lemon and cloves and all that. And, yeah. You ever heard of a Russian flu shot? He goes, no, I haven't. He go, well, a Russian flu shot is when the bartender opens the bottle of vodka for you and hands it over. And the bartender goes, no, this is a Russian breakfast. I was like, no, Russian breakfast, they don't hand it to you. However, now a Mexican flu shot, what happens is somebody's mother throws her chunga at you, calls you a little puto, and tells you to get the fuck out of bed. Iviguo, I have a demon in my house. It's scared of me. Really? Not much of a demon. Might be scared of my sister. I just saw. Why would it be afraid of my sister, the Dark Lord, the Prince of Suffering, the King of all that is inhumane? I just saw, 28 weeks later, the Bone Temple, and it's like that dude thinks my sister is his father. That tracks, actually. That tracks. Makes sense. Wouldn't be the first dude. Ken's. I got demons in my house. I got Thor's hammer. They are afraid of Thor's those demons. I think actually in Norse mythology a demon would be a Valkyrie. Different meaning. Iguo. It's trying to scare me, but I know I scare back. Frozen Fox. It's 5:50. Yes, it's morning. How did that happen and how do I make it stop? On the upside of things, guys, Costco is once again selling pate for cats. So, I was not aware that my Nimbus here likes pate still, but she seems to be eating it. So I'm still not putting on the weight. Boney in her old age. Right, my Nimbus? Kenny's ice giants would be demons. The Valkyries are on the same table as Odin, Tyr, Loki, and Thor. No. Demons are the link between God and man. All demons used to be angels. So, no. Valkyries would technically fall. Hercules is also considered a demon. Demigod and demon have the same meaning. Ivingwo, should I get a cat or I should keep Troll the demon? You should get 2 cats if you're going to take good care of them. I mean, 2 cats, the demon, they watch each other's back. There's another cat in this room. Nim, sweetheart, why don't you come over here? Ariki boy, how to get better at small talk? Ariki boy, small talk is an art. And probably the worst part of small talk for me is it depends on what you mean by small talk. Do you mean filling the time small talk? Or do you mean like talking up a girl small talk? because like filling the time small talk is easy. You just talk about whatever it is you're interested in. You know, you could talk about my YouTube channel, for example. Like, yeah, there's this crazy dude named Richard, and he has all these cats, and he talks about like he seems like he knows something about everything. He's like the internet, only he's wrong. You know, it's yeah, that's small talk. Now, if you're talking about like with a girl, okay, you need to talk about interests, right? You need to secure it in is what it's called. You know, it's just one of those things. It's like um, the truth about human relationships is pre-relationship. You often have two people who want the exact same thing, but just can't master it. And what you need to do is you talk about something you can do together. Like, if you talk about movies for like, what movie do you want to see? Movie is not a good date, by the way, because you're not interacting with each other. Although horror movies tend to spawn relationships sooner than like love stories, ironically. But I mean, if she has a really good time at the movies, she's going to have a really good time with you and associate you with a good time. But I mean, it's like doing something together, finding something you want to do together is the thing. Like I knew a chick, she wanted to go out with me. She even told one of her friends she almost went out with me, but every time I asked her out, she said, "Well, I can't do that with my son." It's like, well, I don't know what you could do with your son. I'm not a parent, so you need to help me out here. Like I'm not gonna be like, "Oh, let's go to the petting zoo." Like, yes, I really want to go to the petting zoo. Like, no, I want you to sit on my face, and I've got a lot of face to sit on, so I mean, it should be a problem there. But I mean, your son, we could take him to the petting zoo, so long as you're going to sit on my face afterwards. This is how that works. Kitties, bro. Riki boy, do you like Denmark? I don't have any strong opinions of Denmark. Ivan Guo, nah, it's okay. I'm going to keep throwing. Always watch a horror movie when you're on a date. I don't know, dude. I don't think Human Centipede would be a good date movie. Or anything by Rob Zombie. Unless you're like dating a goth chick. I mean, that would probably help. This is Green Yes. Sup. Not much. Love a glow. I mean, I guess the girl closer to you. Try to think in all thoughts here, brother. This is Green Yes. Remember Mega Hunter? No. Ediki Boy, I like talking about healthcare on dates. Well, how's that working out for you? I mean, look, dude, here's the thing, is that if you talk about heavy topics on dates, you do know if she swings your way, Like, if you talk about politics is a heavy topic. Religion is a heavy topic. And I mean, like, chick tells me she's Jewish, automatically I'm like, okay, I'm more interested. Okay. She tells me she's a Catholic, I'm like, not my thing, This is Green Yes. You used to time me. What did you say that was rude? Ivan Glow. That's the worst idea. This is Green Yes. Whatever when I type SMTH. Dude, I have moderators for a reason. DeGaff, 5150. Richard Leland, how come you got mad when that one dude asked if you wipe standing up? I do not remember that, but let me say that that's none of his damn business. Okay? I don't want to talk about how people wipe. Right? This is just, I will talk about it on a health level, like, there's something, you need to do. You have a health problem, I'll discuss that with you. But, as far as wiping technique, that's none of my business. It's none of your business. You don't need to know um, how people wipe. It's Salon 123. Hello, this is Green. Yes, when I type hi boom timeout for no reason. Okay, dude, I don't know what you're talking about. I'm normally not the one that times people out, right? So, I mean, you want to cry about it, you can really go. You don't have to watch the stream, dude. The past is the past. We're in the future. We're in the present now. You want to cry about something that happened months ago. I don't know what happened. Ariki boy, just act normal and he will treat you well. Eh, it's Salon. I'm new here. Okay. The Gaff 5150. Fair enough. People have different approaches to dealing with trolls. I would have been like, ask your mama, lol. I make a lot of your mom jokes on here, but it's probably that he was somebody that had already said something stupid. But look, guys, I don't want to talk about things that upset people on these lives. We kind of want to do a feel good vibe here. We're all supposed to be friends. We're all supposed to be, um, trying to have meaningful conversations. This is Green. Yes, dude, I haven't chatted for 1 year. Well, you expect me to remember what you said a year ago? It's Salon 123, but I'm abnormal. Oh, well, you need fiber, like lots of fiber. That'll normal you out. You'll achieve regularity. Howdy, boy, Richard. Would you ever run for local office? Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what would be the point. It's Salon 123. Did you know when you eat chicken a lot, you get cholesterol? Oh, everybody's different in that regard. I have a go. Can you show the cat again? This is Nimbus. And Nim just jumped away. Ah! She just can't get the concept of computer. No, this thing's an old piece of junk, too. Ugh. This is Green. Yes, I have sure strong memories. Dude, I don't. Ricky boy, cholesterol isn't the worst. Sugar is the real villain. Yeah, it's true. The Gaff. Richard, would you rather be a millionaire or be broke but be a hunk? Millionaire. I mean, I can always work out and go back to being a total beefcake, but, money is hard. It's Salon 123. Oh, yes, sugar. Oh, here's Nim. See how Nim is nice and fat. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yes, I love my nice fat little Nim. You're lucky I love you so much, or else you'd be delicious. Ah! Jenny Cleaver, $5. A dancing blue pear. Okay. It's Alon, 123. Anyone from the Philippines here? My stepmother was from the Philippines, but she was also a prostitute in Nigeria. The Gaff 5150. My neighbor was a truck driver, and now he can't drive because he has athlete's foot. That's got to be some nasty athlete's foot. I mean, like, are we talking bleeding athlete's foot or just like crusty athlete's foot? I mean, is he seeing a doctor? Ricky boy, what would you do if you could change one thing about the world? I'd have to think about that one because the implications of changing that one thing, it's like, you could declare peace throughout the world. But there are worlds that have peace, like Mars. Mars is peaceful. No one there to make war. DeGaff 5150. Thank you, Jenny. Forrest Gump voice. Jenny Clevenger. Smile. Smile, Tanya, smile. You know this whole world is a great world after a while. Mary Mistrada. Hello, everyone. Good to see you back, Mary. How was your Zoom call? Nicky Boy, are any thoughts on Stoic philosophy? No, really? The Gav 5150, like it's so itchy and unbearable that he can't drive properly and no insurance. Okay. So, again, dude, athlete's foot has two major components to it. The first one being that there's no air. So, you know, got to scrub them feet and dry them out. And the second one being possibly a damage to the immune system, which would also be a problem. So, you know, like you can, simplest treatment for athlete's foot is to go get yourself like a bucket and, you know, put in a cup of vinegar and then put your foot in and fill it with warm water up until it covers the foot. And that should kill the yeast that's causing the trouble. If that doesn't work, shock the yeast by doing the same thing only with baking soda and water. You know, it's just one of those things. Like athlete's foot, it's very treatable if it's not the bleeding kind. The bleeding kind is very painful. So it's like, you know, you spray the foot and you start screaming. That's something you need a doctor for. But typically, the sprays are harsh and the ointments are less harsh. So, you know, you'd have to treat it regularly with the ointment. But I mean, you know. Jenny Clivenger, do you believe in aliens? Well, aliens are a mathematical certainty. Whether they visit Earth is the question. Ricky Boy, best movie quote ever. I knew it. I'm surrounded by assholes. Mary Estrada made good progress on Zoom. Well, that's good. Ricky Boy, what philosophy do you live by? You know, I've never really, I mean, I live by Jewish philosophy. It's what I was taught by my mother. I mean, it is somewhat existentialistic in its nature, but Jenny Clivenger, ew, footy. Hey, look, there is nothing you could say to me that would freak me out, like about the human body. My father had no filter whatsoever. Neither did my sister. My sister actually talked to me about having anal sex with her husband. Like, I'd want to know about that. I mean, it's like, well, you know, so you're telling me the hemorrhoids are a problem there. Well, if that's very interesting. Shouldn't you discuss this with your doctor, not me? Should you discuss this with literally anyone but your brother? Aiden Go Dorothy, so good, said hi. Jenny Clevenger, sniff. The Gaff 5150, thank you, Richard. He tried Gold Seal, but it didn't work. I mean, I'm a big fan of Tinactin, but you have to understand that if you tried something and it doesn't work, look at the active component, and it should list that on the packaging, and find something with a different active component. But I mean, it's like, dude, hang your feet off the bed and blow a fan at them, because athlete's foot is yeast eating your skin. And that yeast can get really bad. So, yeah. Prelit, have a good day or night, whatever. Yes, may you enjoy socks or whatever it is you like. The gaff, or no. Richard, did you have a bar mitzvah? No. Um, my mother was too sick, and then she died. The gaff, and also Richard, can uncontrollable diabetes cause athlete's foot? Okay, diabetes contributes to athlete's foot. And I can tell you that personally. I know that as a fact, right? I have had to worry a lot more about keeping my feet clean. But then if he's a diabetic, it's very unlikely that he could be a truck driver anyway, because he'd have to piss all the time. Okay, so if his diabetes is not under control, he is not going to be able to drive a truck. You have to get that diabetes under control. Ericky boy, I would invite your sister to a party. Do you hate the people you're partying it with? Prelit, I'm into vomit, especially if my ugh. Ricky boy, you're into socks and vomit. Do you fill the socks with vomit though? I mean, like, did you get your little sister Grinch socks? Did you Prelit? Really? I mean, for a man as in love with socks as that. Ariki boy, athlete's foot is caused by contact with a fungus. No, the fungus is already there. Okay, it's like I once took my dog to the vet, and he had a terrible yeast infection in his ears, and he had skin fungi. So, it's a terrible problem, and so they say, well, he's got a yeast infection in his ears, and my brother says, oh. How did the yeast get in there? And I said, Paul, yeast infection is kind of the wrong word. It's more of a flare up. The yeast is always there. And, it's that there's not enough air to kill the yeast. So, yeah, you have, like, if your feet ever have that kind of cheesy smell, the reason they smell like cheese is because cheese is what makes yeast. So, no, you didn't come in contact with yeast. The yeast is already there. Okay, in fact, if you didn't have yeast on your feet, that would be weird. There are other things you can do, like getting into a pool. The chlorine should kill the athlete's foot, But I mean, I don't know if you'd want to because that might be kind of nasty. Jenny Clevenger, Namaset. Prelit, I don't have any socks at the moment, but my sis will take her socks off in the evening, and I will have fun with them. Gross. The gaff. Jesus Christ, Richard, you should be a doctor, lol. Because I know about athlete's foot. Weird. Ricky boy, why does diabetes cause urination? Because, well, okay. You can be hyperglycemic or hypoglycemic, meaning you could have too much or too little sugar from diabetes. If you have too much sugar, if you're hyperglycemic, I believe it's hyperglycemic, your body starts to clear out that sugar through urine. So one of those things that you do if you're diabetic is you hydrate extensively, because that will cause you to pee out the sugar. Now, if you're hypoglycemic, I don't believe urination is a common factor. Okay, it may be possible for your body to try to shed excess water that way, but I believe it does that through sweating. Oh. Prelit, is Rusty Dog still coming here? Is his mom still alive, or is she already died? Rusty Dog passed away, Prelit. Ricky boy, the yeast also infects your shoes. Yes. Um, One thing you should do to make sure that you don't get a yeast infection in your shoes or a yeast flare up is to dry them. Particularly if you have like a cable unit or a device that has that grill on top, the electrical device with the grill on top. What that grill does is release heat. So if you put your shoes that you've already worn on there, it will dry them out for you. But yes, I mean, a shoe that's been worn probably has some yeast in it. The gaff. That's a good question, Eric. I wonder why diabetes makes you take a leak often. Richard, just take the compliment. Prelit. Rusty Dog passed away for real? Yeah, he died of a severe asthma attack. He suffocated. Why? What happened? His girlfriend showed up every now and again, apparently because Rusty loved his channel so much, and she said he had a severe asthma attack and just suffocated. Ricky boy, I'm grateful I don't have diabetes. It sounds difficult. Yeah, it sucks. I mean, especially because in my case, Ricky boy, I got diabetes because I got hurt. Okay, which I mean, I was a borderline diabetic, but I got hurt. So that shock to the system apparently did something that caused an aggressive onset of diabetes. Oh, the gaff. Just kidding, Richard. You're a cool cat, but most people have to pay for this info, so thank you. Um, well, I mean, you could go to WebMD, but it will say that you're dying. Prelit, goddamn, R.I.P. Rusty Dog. You were a good guy. Yeah, he was. Yeah, he was. Sometimes it feels like I'm surrounded by death. You know what I mean? It's just. The Gaff 5150. Richard, now I'm scared to drink soda. Lol. Um. Well, I mean, look, if you don't have a weight problem, it's probably not an issue. But do you know if it's okay to drink Coke Zero? No. Look, first of all, artificial sweeteners can be just as bad as sugar. They can cause shortness of breath and anal leakage. And I mean, you think being fat is bad. Imagine feeling like your rear end is on fire and wiping it and thinking you're bleeding when what's really happening is artificial sweeteners are just leaking through your body. So, I mean, look, understand this much about soda. Soda is a dessert. It is to be had no more often than ice cream or candy bars. And yeah, some people have those every day. They're thin people. But have a soda as a dessert. Like I haven't had soda in a couple of days now. Right. I did have a Rip It yesterday, which is a type of energy drink, and it does have calories, so it's similar to a soda. But I only had one, and I did have another one with me, but I didn't drink it because I realized it wouldn't be a good idea. So it's like like what I have in this glass here is unsweetened tea, and to make this unsweetened tea, I literally just took two big jars and I put tea bags in them and I let them sit for a couple of days. I, of course, I like the caffeine. Mary Mistrada can relate to being surrounded by death. I'm really sorry to hear that, Mary. I mean, you seem like such a nice person. It seems like you deserve a life that is not full of pain. Ricky boy, but I am almost never eat added sugar. Sometimes chocolate is small quantities. Oh. The gaff 5150. Oh hell no, I'm just going to drink water now, I swear. Yeah. See, there was the thing is I had a friend who drank a lot of diet soda. And oh God, did he stink. I mean, he stunk so bad that he was in the army and people would put their gas masks on when he passed gas. But yeah, Ricky boy, soda is not good, but diet soda is less bad than sugar, in my opinion. Here's the thing, Ricky boy. First of all, we're all different. Some of us can drink soda all day and not have a problem. Some of us can't. Right? It depends on who you are. Some people will have an adverse reaction to diet sweeteners, and they may even crave sweet more. And I've seen people who had that problem. There was, if you watch Super Size Me, there was a guy who switched from soda to diet soda, and he went blind temporarily. And that was because he started losing weight, but he wasn't flushing his system. So switching from soda to diet soda is a terrible idea. You should switch to water. Water will generally flush your system, but when you lose weight, your body releases toxins. Okay? And these toxins can do things like make you go blind temporarily. I actually had this problem once. I mean, you'd look at me and think, that man has never lost weight. But no, I actually had this problem once. And I lost weight so rapidly that I had to hold my eyes open to see. And this is a common side effect of drugs that make you burn calories. I mean, cocaine is an awesome weight loss drug. It's just that it's addictive and makes you do stupid shit. The GAF 5150. Richard, I'm skinny, but my grandfather has beta, so now I'm going to chill out on sugar. Thank you, Richard. Serious. Well, I mean, the only thing that runs in my family is diabetes. My father had it. I don't know if my mother had it. She died too young. I don't think my grandmother had it, but I know my grandfather had it. And my sister has it, and my brother has it. Okay. Now, my brother had diabetes so bad that he may lose his leg. And I think my father nearly lost, or maybe he did lose a foot or part of a foot. So yeah, I mean, it's one of those things. But just remember, eat a healthy, diverse diet. You should be fine. Fred Chambers, if you are enjoying the stream, please hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. Thank you. Ricky boy, I only have headphones in my family. I should probably do more cardio. Oh, heart problems. My bad. Yeah. I'm fairly thin, so I don't know if I would go blind. You have to lose a lot of weight for that. But I mean, yeah, do understand this much, Ariki boy. For a workout to be solid, it has to challenge your heart. Okay. And everybody is different. So yes, there was one woman who was so out of shape that she would run in place for 5 minutes and then be flat on her back for days. So they had to devise very simple, very easy, very light workouts for her. Okay. And I know, like, I used to have a pool at my home. And when I had a pool at my home, I spent an average of 2 hours, maybe 3 hours every day in the pool. As soon as I got home from school, I'd strip to my underwear and jump in the pool. And I loved the pool so much. Well, when the pool exploded, because it was an above ground pool, I put on weight very rapidly. And I got so out of shape, I could not run across a 2-lane street without getting winded. So, I've never been that out of shape again. And that was when I was very young. But I mean, went from walking or moving around quite a bit to not. Mary, is it possible to drink too much water. My doctor told me to drink less water because I had an electrolyte imbalance. Yes, it is. You can get what's called water intoxication, where you lose your electrolytes. Um, so you see, Mary, electrolytes are the things that fire your nerves. Okay, and typically with Americans, we have a potassium deficiency as opposed to a sodium deficiency. All right. So the two major electrolytes are sodium and potassium. And if you run out of potassium, you eat things like bananas and yogurt and whatever have you, and you can go blind from that. But it generally will cause your kidneys to stop working, and you'll get irritable really quickly. I mean, also if you drink a Coke and your stomach starts feeling bloated afterwards, you have a potassium deficiency. Okay, it's very simple. So, in order to balance that potassium again, it depends on what the doctor said. Did he say you just have low electrolytes, or did he say which ones? That's what I would have to know before I could recommend a course of action. DeGaff 5150. Wait, so if you work out, we could possibly go blind or only from the drugs. If you work out too hard, you can cause temporary blurred vision, essentially. You'd have to really work the hell. I mean, you'll probably cause other injuries before then. But no, what happened to me was that I started losing weight because I've been depressed my whole life, and I finally wasn't depressed. So I had a ridiculous amount of energy. I was always running around. I had to carry a gallon bottle of water with me wherever I went, and I could drink 4 or 5 gallons of water a day because and it was all clear urine because my body was releasing toxins as it burns fat. So typically, I mean, you have to do that for several days and not hydrate properly before you have any ill side effects. DeGaff. I heard that Bruce Lee died from water in the brain from too much whatever, but maybe it's not true. I hadn't heard that. Never heard of water in the brain. Ricky Boy, water needs electrolytes and sodium to hydrate you. Yeah, sodium is an electrolyte. I mean, if you had actual pure water, it wouldn't carry an electrical signal. Ricky Boy, I walk really fast. Do you power walk? You're doing work today. Good. Mary, I like pools a lot. Yeah, me too. Artmore, hi Richard. Good morning. What's up, Art? Rasha Karanjan, hello. The Gap 5150, Dr. Neal. Sedgwick Curver Merchula. What's up, bro? Where are you from? Los Angeles, California. Ricky Boy, I got eye twitching sometimes when working out. Yeah, again, that sounds like it's a nerve problem. I mean, okay, another thing about working out, guys, if you're not bringing a water bottle to the gym, you're not doing it right, okay? If you're not pushing yourself hard enough to need water, you're not working out. Workouts are stressful to the body. That's what they are. So, yeah, and I really shouldn't even be talking about this, but you can have a lot of problems from working out. Eye twitch is normally associated, like if you have a lot of stress and you're working out, you may be getting that. But I mean, it's really important to make sure you're hydrated. And again, that hydration level, you'll find out if you're dehydrated if you go to the gym and you're not sweating. Because if you're not sweating, you're definitely not hydrated. Zaddy of all Zoots, could you please rank your 3 favorite canals? I don't even think I know three canals offhand. I mean, Panama, Suez. I'd like them to build that one in Israel. The gaff. Sometimes I get lightheaded after going on the treadmill. I don't know why. Um, because you need to strengthen your heart. What happens is that your lower body is what we call dark meat or slow twitch muscle, and it does not get tired, but your heart does. So you're doing an aerobic exercise, and you're feeling lightheaded because you're not getting enough blood to the brain. That's what lightheadedness is. Quinnamelin. Hello, Richard. Dear, good morning. We've got a little rain today. Yes, just a little. DeGaff, I'm going to tell my grandpa that you potentially saved me from this. Oh. Ricky boy, I lost 15 pounds from long walks and eating less. Yeah? Interesting sort of side note for you. I used to take my sister on walks. This was around 2004, and she did not lose weight, but her lymph nodes began to drain, which was very interesting. So everyone kept saying, you look slimmer, you look like you have less weight in your face. And she kept being like, but I haven't lost any weight. But do also understand that when I used to take my sister walking, like every now and again she'd start running because it moved her bowels and caused her to need to use the restroom. Yeah, that's awesome, Eric. Keep it up. Yes. Ricky boy, I would do more cardio during the spring, I promise. Yeah, well, I mean, just remember, uh, don't push yourself too hard either. You know, the goal of exercising is to do the right amount. Okay, so it's like I used to know a guy that says, well, when you're really tired at the gym, that's when you start really making gains. Yeah, but you got to stop sometime. Um, the gaff. We're gonna hold you to that, Eric. Zaddy of all zoots. I'd say Panama, Suez, and Hershey Highway. Luftmata Canal. Pretz. Yo, bro, how do I lose weight quickly? People keep saying I'm becoming like Umar the Globe. How the hell would I know lose weight quickly? I mean, look, dude, like, here's a diet that worked for a guy I know, I met. He had the carrot diet. Before eating anything else, he had to eat 2 pounds of carrots a day. It was damn hard to eat 2 pounds of carrots a day. Even better would be the celery diet, where you have to eat three, what are they called? Heads of celery a day. You know, it's real hard to eat that much celery, and it's almost all water, so you're all full up by the time you're done. But I mean, it's like, look, the fastest way to lose weight is to go on the protein diet and then swim in ice water all day. All right, that's the fastest way to lose weight. The ice water will force your body to heat it up, and the protein diet gives you no carbohydrates. You're likely to die, but I mean, that is the fastest way. Short of like liposuction or cutting something off. Artmore, what are your plans for later? Dude, I'm going to work later. I mean, they haven't told me when I'm coming back to work yet. I know I'm at least going back at 5 p.m., but I might go back at 1 p.m. It's Thursday. I work long hours. And Thursday is the start of my meat grinder. Thursday, I go into work. I have a 4-hour break. I get out work 5 o'clock. Have to be back at work at 9 o'clock. Get out work at 5 o'clock p.m. Got to be back at work at 9 o'clock p.m. Get out of work at 5 o'clock a.m. Got to be back at work at 9 o'clock a.m. And then, like, after 2 days, I can finally go home and sleep. Oh, where was I? Laurelland, Richard. The gaff. The real answer is Ozempic. Or Coke, Lowell. Laurelland said hi. Enrique boy, Denmark might stop selling Ozempic to Americans soon. Why, Eric? Because Greenland, yeah. Enrique boy, if Trump keeps threatening allies, yeah, I know. The gaff, we'll make our own Ozempic. Eric, what country are you from? The rat race. That would be really funny if terrible but funny if our trading partners refuse to trade with us. Like, I mean, it would never happen. But could you imagine how just absolutely boned we would be if China just said, "Okay, that's it. We won't trade with you anymore. You want our stuff? Buy it from Europe." Because I mean, like, you're not supposed to do that, but that's one thing that does happen. Is that, you know, like, China will import garlic to, say, somewhere in the Middle East, and now that garlic is in the Middle East, so that person in the Middle East sells that garlic to America, and that means that they didn't buy Chinese garlic, which has a 200% tariff. They bought Middle Eastern garlic, which does not have a tariff because they don't produce garlic there, and that's not legal, but people do it. The gaff. Denmark is, my opinion, is like a Chihuahua defying a pit bull. Okay, yes, but the gaff, you do know, firstly speaking, Denmark is one dog of many. And secondly, Chihuahuas were actually bred for combat. I don't know how. I don't know why. But that's what they were for. Ricky boy, Denmark is part of the EU, which has a unified trade policy. Yeah, yeah. We would probably be pretty badly boned if the EU stopped trading with us as well. But oh, Ricky boy, EU is America's largest export market. I know, and we shouldn't be pissing them off. But, dude, like, here's one of those things about just politics in general. If you're the milkman, you don't piss off the people you deliver milk to because you want them to want your milk, you know. And in this situation, it's like, yes, you know, you've got the milkman and the paperboy and the general store, and then on the other hand, you've got the farmer and the butcher, and like, if the butcher pisses off the milkman, he can't buy anything from the general store, so it's a bad idea. And yeah, he's in there with the farmer, and the farmer's out there, growing corn and shit, but you know, you still need things that the farmer can't produce. You can survive with the farmer, but the general store, that's where you buy your white shirts. That's where you buy your pick. That's why you buy your knives. So that's why we all have to get along in this world. The gaff. Where was the EU on February 23rd? Where were they ever? Just saying. Well, Ricky boy. Well, Canada, Mexico might be bigger, but they are also turning to China. So yeah, I know. Gaff, Eric, are you from Denmark? Lol. Ericy boy, I'm not from Denmark. The Gaff, okay, coolio. LeBron sucks ass, said hi. Okay, that's a basketball player? The Gaff 5150. Richard, have you ever been to Florida? No, I can't say that I have. My mother once talked about going to Disney World, but I have to be completely honest with you. Like, if I had the opportunity to go to Disney World versus not go to Disney World, I might go to Disney World. Might. But, like, if the opportunity was, like, go to Disney World or stay here and go to Knott's Berry Farm, I'd stay here. Yeah, I like Florida, but I feel it's a discount version of Cali. Well, both states produce oranges. Just understand this, DeGaff. It's like, yes, in Florida, they advertise real California orange juice. And I don't understand that. But, it's like Wisconsin, they make cheese. We make better cheese. France, they make wine. We make better wine. Oh, the gaff. Ooh, I know Knott's Berry Farm, even though it's like 6 hours from me. I'm in NorCal, bro. Yeah, I'm like 45 minutes from Knott's. Mary, that Knott's Berry Farm looks neat. Yeah, I only like it around Halloween. No pucks given. Shut up, Richard. You don't have to watch. Well, I ain't forget the words. Ricky boy, soon I can drink wine again. Gosh. Fred Chambers, I can turn water into Kool-Aid. Well, now that's a talent. Look, not everybody can do that. My sister can't do that. Her meatloaf tastes like cream cheese. How do you make meatloaf taste like cream cheese? No, no, I don't want to know. I don't want to know. I ate that stuff. Sometimes it's better not to know what you put in your mouth after you already put it in. Right, my investigation? You seem to be doing better. You really do. All right, guys. So this is. I normally do these for an hour. We are reaching the end of the hour, and there are only like five of you. Richard, do you know who DJ Khaled is? I have a vague knowledge of him. He's a big dude. Ricky boy, Richard, I enjoy your bourbon video, but I could tell it didn't taste good. Yeah, I mean, bourbon is not my thing, and that is really strong bourbon. Although it's effing cold now, so I need to do something. DeGaff, how come DJ Khaled has been working out for years and not lose any weight? Probably because he eats too much. I mean, but it's also the type of workout you do. I mean, but he might also just be a big dude. It's like, yeah, um, I could definitely lose 100 pounds if I worked out. That's not enough to give me abs. He probably has diabetes, but he won't. But he don't see that side of the celeb, eh? Eh. Mary Mistrada, or it could be alcohol. Yeah, alcohol can have a lot of calories. The gaff. He's Muslim, but he smokes and drinks. Lol. Eh. Ricky boy, I try to not drink strong alcohol. You know, guys, my grandfather was a Mormon and he smoked and drank. Anyway, so we are at the end of the hour. Apologies for any of you that wanted to keep going, but I mean, I I have things to do and I have to sleep sometime. Fred Chambers, I lost weight before I took funny. Before I look funny. Okay. The gaff, I had to unsub from a guy I knew for years because he had a stroke and now he's back to cigs and beer. I can't watch him do it to himself. See, I'm born unaddictable, so it's like that's never going to happen to me. Ricky boy, my grandfather only drank the church wine. Yes, but how much did he drink? Mary Mistrada, take care, Richard. Thank you, Mary. You too. All right, ladies and gentlemen. As I say, I do these for an hour. The hour is over. Only 4 people watching anyway. The gaff, thank you so much for the advice and the laughs, Richard. Have a good day. You too. All right, ladies and gentlemen. As I say, I will try to be back with one of these. Probably not tomorrow. Maybe Saturday. I'm not sure.